Day, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And 8:07 on the nose.
I'll let it fade out on its own. You could have made the half. The last half.
I don't feel like rushing things this morning.
Okay. Yeah, we really have nowhere to go.
Yeah. I mean, Kathy abandoned me. My therapist didn't show up.
He's in Rehoboth Beach, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I asked him to mule me some stuff from Joyzy, and he decided not to oblige.
What's up with that?
Yeah. You know, I have someone else down in Delaware that'll help me out.
Oh boy.
Although I really could use some more of that pork roll that you can only get down there.
In Maryland?
Yeah, Joyzy.
Oh.
Although we were able to find it down in Virginia when we were there.
True.
Yeah. And I found out I can order it online, but it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, the shipping costs are a little prohibitive.
Yeah. Today is the 5th day of July in the year 2022, Anno Domini. I've got my chick here.
Oh, good God. Somebody else brought that out, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, really?
I think it was Bobby G.
Oh, so people are in my closet looking through my props, huh?
Well, when it's open and they can see it, When it's open and they can see it, it's fair game.
I figured, I didn't want to be the only one here, so why not?
You could steal his cheesy French bistro stuff over there.
I think that during our New Year's Eve countdown show, I used some of that stuff.
You probably did.
Yeah.
You probably did.
So, let's try this again now that I got off track. See, I need Kathy here to keep me in line.
Oh, that's okay. We got to fill an hour.
Oh, I've got plenty of stuff here to fill an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Stuff that I keep in my closet over here.
Right.
Well, on my shelf in your closet. Let me correct myself.
Yes.
It's not my closet.
The one that you commandeered on your own.
Well, I only commandeered half of that shelf.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Today is the 5th day of July in the year 2022, Anno Domini. This is the Den Ken's Den.
The views expressed by the host, the only guy sitting in the studio, are those solely of his own, not those of Westfield State University, the radio club, the underwriters, the trustees, and anybody else who might be on campus right now. And now...
You know what, Pete?
What's going on? That wasn't very
energetic. I don't have a monologue this week.
You don't?
No.
What happened?
I have an announcement.
Okay.
I have a lot of experience as an admin on multiple Facebook groups.
Yes, you do.
I admin the You're from Westfield If You Remember group.
Yep.
I was the admin for the Westfield 350 group.
Yep.
And for the past year and a half, I was one of the moderators on the Westfield Community Forum.
Yes.
Now, you all might remember a few years back when a person with the initials DK ran that group.
Oh, yes, that was fun, gentlemen.
It was like a dictatorship, and he was in full control. If you didn't like what you posted, he mocked you or deleted your comments.
I deleted your post.
That site went dark for over a year. It was revived through a process on Facebook, and I ended up as one of the moderators. I'll go into detail as to how that happened, but it's not relevant to where I am going with this. Over the past year plus, there have been some creative and content conflicts between the sole admin and some of the moderators. Recently, out of the blue, I received a text from the sole admin saying my excess negativity was causing them health issues and I was removed as the moderator. Now, this admin never discussed this with any of the other moderators. Now, my excess negativity likely included pissing them off several times when it came to allowing business postings. They did not want them. I fought for them. Multiple times, I asked why a comment or a post was removed, and bullying was used as an excuse. I don't think calling someone stupid is bullying.
Well, if they're being stupid.
Exactly. And I can't say for sure, but I'm certain my vocal political standings in the group chat may have also contributed to the admin's issues, which resulted in them removing me from the con. Now, folks that have followed me for a while, or have seen my broadcasts, or have seen how I cover elections or perform interviews during elections, know that I can separate my own views from doing business. People know I'm fair and balanced when it comes to getting information out or letting people be heard. Now, the tolerant and open-minded sole admin of the Westfield Community Forum gave me inspiration and drive to react in a positive way when she removed me from my position. I never badmouthed them publicly. I don't think I'm badmouthing them now. Nor did I
stating facts.
Nor did I post anything on social media regarding this. At 8:30 this morning, an alternative Facebook group will go live. And I already have almost 8,000 members. I would like to thank Carrie for handing over the controls of the Westfield Mass Happenings group to me. It had been on pause for over half a year, and she just didn't know how to walk away from it. So I thank Carrie for handing the con over to me on that. Now, over the past week, I've been rebranding and refreshing this group.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for... This is not the Westfield Community Forum.
That's a backhand slap.
No, because it's not what you're looking for. Get it?
Gotcha.
Yep. I want to make sure there's no confusion when people get to this group that they think they're on one group, but they're really on another.
Right. I suppose that's a clear delineation.
Yeah, seeing there's already the Westfield Community Forum 2.2 and 3.5, and the forum, the Community Forum of Westfield. I mean, there's a ton of them. I needed a, yeah. Now, we have several admins and moderators lined up, and they're all on board with not censoring anything. If something causes you butthurt, too bad. We don't care about your feelings. We're also the largest group in town that will allow national politics to be talked about, with a caveat. If you post a meme, you must include text with your stance and why you are posting said meme. Now, if you just put a meme up, I'm going to delete it. All right? Generate conversation. You're putting that up there for a reason. Stand behind it. Are some people going to hate me after this broadcast and after this group goes live? Yeah, sure. But remember this. In this group, your views and comments will not be suppressed by the admins. Unless Facebook themselves has an issue with what you post and reports it to us, it is highly unlikely we will ever see posted or made as a comment, because we are not policing the posts and comments looking for something that triggers you or may be mean or cause someone butthurt or may even be against Facebook standards. In fact, if you report something to the admins that causes you butthurt, we may actually don't bother us. Walk away.
Yeah, shut off the Facebook.
Brand new set of rules that are put into play here. In this new group, seriously, if you don't like something, leave. Or say something about it and take the lickings you may get. Be an adult. Now, who has 2 thumbs up and is really on your side? This guy. Let's pay our bills. We'll be back right after this.
Support for Underwriting for Community Radio on Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Hey, this is Dean Can. You're listening to my friends Robbie, Lynn, and Pete on the Bobby G and Company Show on WSKB 89.5 FM. I'm also listening right alongside.
I played that because you guys need to step up your game.
I see that out of place bump, and I raise you this. Why isn't it playing?
They got Dean Kane, man.
Am I turned up?
No.
911 call. In that time?
All right. I actually have the control for that over here now, and I probably should have looked to see if Ken's computer was up. But while I have this on here, let's see if I can actually turn my microphone off. And
wait a minute, he's got a good one. Check this one out.
Hi, this is Joseph D'Onofrio. You might know me as Young Tommy from Goodfellas or Slick from A Bronx Tale. You're listening to my friends, Bobby, Lynn, and Pete on the Bobby G and Company Show, right here on WSKB 89.5 FM. Enjoy, cuz.
All right.
Come on now.
So right now would be a good time. Oh, yeah, I can. It works.
I know it works.
I wanted to test it. Because when you're gone, if I'm actually going to do a broadcast, I really need to do it from out here. And I don't care if I have control over the camera for that. I just want control over the audio because I can't leave the mic open during a break, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I was
you could have control over the vMix, I guess.
Yeah, I can look into that. So I am still going to raise you this.
My family! He's got a gun!
Someone's breaking into your home. What do you do? Call 911? It takes the police an average of 35 minutes to respond to a 911 call. In that time, a burglar could have his way with your wife, smoke a cigarette, flip her over, and go in for seconds. Don't let the worst happen to you.
God.
It is vital that you protect yourself. Do it the patriotic way.
That's right. Ammunition has all the equipment you need to protect your family from the evils of a liberal society. Fixed, mounted, and shoulder-held submachine guns, mortars, surface-to-air and all manner of heat-seeking missiles, and just in to celebrate the Gulf War, pink and blue tracer bullets so you can protect your family in the dark. Start the week off right on Make My Day Mondays with 2 for 1 on maim, strafe, and kill landmines. Got Gulf War syndrome? Get $10 off all machine gun rentals. Hey, if you love your family, prove it with a gun. Ammunition, protecting your rights.
I figure if I'm going to piss people off, go big.
Oh, God.
By the way, Miss Palmer did chime in, and she said, when was I ever able to keep you in line?
How about keep them on track?
So I know I have one person watching right now.
You missed a Union Pacific train go by while we were in the break.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's up with that locomotive that you posted
Did
the
you
other
see that?
day? Yeah, what's going on with that?
That's a retired UP SD40-2.
All right.
And it was sold to Connecticut Southern, which does freight out of the West Springfield Yard down into Connecticut, customers in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept the same number, and they kept the same lettering for the number. So I'm like, I looked at it last night. I'm like, that's UP lettering on it. And then if you look really closely at the stripe, I took a picture of it. You could see Union Pacific underneath it.
So is it short line work?
Yeah. Connecticut Southern is a Class 3 that interchanges in West Springfield. They have 2 engines up there that sit in the yard and run freight down into Connecticut.
Mm-hmm. Good eye.
I looked at the numbers and I'm like, the coloring scheme is still the same too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, those are Union Pacific style numbers. And I'm like, they just didn't change the number.
I remember when I was in New Orleans, I was downtown in the business district by the Civic Center. And they have a river walkway next to that with the shopping area. And you look out over, there's a bunch of train tracks running along the Mississippi River there.
Yeah.
And there is a small train yard right downtown New Orleans, and I'm looking there, and I had a friend with me at the time, and I'm like, oh, look at that, a CSX engine down here.
Oh yeah, they're big down south.
Yeah, I just wasn't expecting to see it down in the yard in New Orleans.
CSX's headquarters in Tallahassee, or it's in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
Conrail was the one that was the Northeast Railroad.
Yeah.
And Conrail became part of CSX.
Yep. Okay. All right. That's where my thinking was in Conrail.
The other major railroads right now are Norfolk Southern,
mm-hmm.
which is the Norfolk and Western and the Southern merged.
Is that the one I have a spike from?
No. The spike that you have is from, I believe they called it the Eastern Shores Railway, which ran from the top of the peninsula around Ocean City, Maryland, all the way down to the bottom of the peninsula, which is where the 26-mile bridge is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they used to ferry the cars across the Chesapeake Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day.
You know what?
Now only part of that line still runs. The Delaware and something. I took pictures of that. That was the engine I took pictures of that one time I was down there and you weren't there with me.
Mm-hmm.
So they still run part of that line and the rest of it's been ripped up and
mm-hmm.
it's now a bike path.
A lot of them are turning into bike paths. But speaking of trains, I remember a few weeks ago, I had this debacle in my head where, geez, I don't know if I want to do West Palm Beach or Miami or
yes.
Well, ultimately, I ended up back with Orlando.
I don't know if Brightline will be done by then.
Okay, all right. So you saw where the question was going.
Yeah, because if Brightline gets done, you can go right from. Oh, there's UP.
Mm-hmm.
The other one must have been Norfolk Southern. If Brightline is completed, you can go right from Orlando's airport all the way to Miami in pretty good time.
So if I'm on International Drive, though, I'd have to.
They're supposed to be having a station eventually all the way to Disneyland.
All right, because that'd be. I think I'm 7 miles away from the airport where I am. I guess it isn't too far to have to go in order to grab a train.
Yeah, and they're going to go through Cocoa Beach. They're going to have a stop in Cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not Cocoa Beach. But, yeah, they're going to have stops all along there.
Uh-huh. All right, but might not happen this February.
It's still under construction. I don't think it'll happen before next year.
But
they're making tons of progress. Every time I go there, there's more track laid and there's more. I mean, they're really getting it done. There's a guy you can follow online. If you look on YouTube for Brightline construction updates,
mm-hmm.
he's been literally documenting everything, and it was with drone shots and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old Amtrak baggage car. Look at that.
Yep.
See the color scheme?
Yep.
Okay, an old Amtrak boxcar just went by. That's the stuff that Virtual Rail Fan loves.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's not ready, fine. I'll just sit by the pool for 4 days, like the plan is anyway, and hopefully I'll get better weather than you usually get whenever you go down in the winter.
Oh, I go for the one. I always end up going for the 1 week of winter.
Mm-hmm.
They have like 1 week of winter down there.
Yeah.
True winter.
Yeah.
And it always seems to coincide it doesn't matter what days I go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when I go.
Yeah, and it always happens 2 days after you leave, and I show up.
It warms up.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's my curse. I might go somewhere else for my birthday this year, though.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
of places to go, I obviously follow a lot of business going out in Vegas. and the thing that's going on
DPU.
and the thing that's going on right now. A lot of the resorts that found that they raised their rates high to see if people would still bite.
Yep.
They're finding out people aren't biting.
Well, because they don't have the money anymore.
So
inflation kind of took care of that.
So the rates are coming back down. I don't think you're going to see that reflected anytime in the next 2 to 3 months.
Would you rather have butts and seats than empty rooms?
Yeah. Well, that's what they caught on, and even a higher rate though in Vegas is still cheaper than going to a lot of other places. There's an event going down in Connecticut in a couple of months from now, and it's one of those things you have to really go down overnight. And a day's inn is $150 down in southern Connecticut.
Oh, Stamford area? Yeah, it's brutal.
I mean,
well, in season too.
Danbury area.
In season?
October, end of October.
Those are New York prices, though. Danbury, Stamford.
Right, but $150 for a 2-star day inn.
Yeah, those are New York prices.
Yeah, so I used to be able. It was 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago. $59 a night down there.
Yeah.
When I used to travel down there, but even if you don't have a loyalty card, you can land $50, $60 a night rooms in Vegas on the Strip. So it's still an economical place to go if you play the game right. You just have to really know how to play the game.
I'm always worried about catching one of these cheap hotels and it be a crappy hotel.
Well, that's why you have me.
I know.
And I'll extend that to any of the other fine citizens of Westfield. I mean, I'm not a travel agent, but I've been to Vegas over 25 times. I know the Strip. I've been in each resort. I'd like to say I know it, so I could probably get you into the right place for what you are looking for, especially if it's your first time. If it's your first time, you don't want to save a couple of bucks by going off Strip or downtown. Your first time, you need to be on the Strip, and I can get you in a place that's not going to break the bank, but you're not going to hate for your first time out. And I don't mind doing that. I will do that free of charge for folks who need us finding something appropriate over in Las Vegas. I mean, depending on your circumstance, if you have children you want to bring, there are still options on the Strip to bring children. So it can still be a family event. And I have no problem providing that help to folks who need it. I mean,
gotcha.
I love Vegas. Anyone who's hesitant.
All right, let me know when the prices for rooms come down because I may book something.
Well, you can look forward 362 days for the Caesar and MGM.
Are they dropping around the first of the year? After NAB?
Well, I can tell you right now, the last week of August is still dropped. October. They're always expensive during NAB.
I know.
There's
because there's a shortage of rooms.
Well, no. Well, there's also another convention going on when NAB happens to be out there. But I can find the right price for most people. Find me online.
Les says our train conversation is reminding him of a Big Bang episode.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about a different show. I know Big Bang, but I was thinking maybe... Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, something like that.
And Bavino says Ship 24 is going to the launch site.
Ooh. It's
not
going to happen.
Not today. Well, I don't know. I have this weird feeling it's going to happen while I'm in Florida. So I've hedged my bets. I have a flight booked from Orlando over to Texas just in case.
I
right around the time frame I think he's going to go.
I was on Southwest webpage looking at rates, and some of the rates are up. But if you look around with Southwest, you can still find the types of rates that they had a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Pre-pandemic rates. I mean,
you got to look for bargains.
You have to look. They do exist, and you might have to change your itinerary by a day. But if that now saves you $150, $160 on an airline ticket,
right,
you can afford $75 for an extra night at the hotel. When you're a cheap Polak like me, there has to be give and take when it comes to a day or two, plus or minus, that you're willing to travel.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. But then again, I'm myself. I'm alone. Right. I don't have to worry about if it works for anyone else in my party.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a family type travel. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
That's why if you're saying, hey, Ken, it's going to go up, I'm able to get on an airplane pretty darn quick if I feel like paying for it.
Right.
Because obviously, last minute, the flights can
get expensive, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, it's 8:30. Ooh, it's 8:36 already.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting until after the next break, I'm going to get this over right now. And I'm sorry, Pete, but
what?
I got to do it.
Oh, Lord. Not again.
Big Brother is starting tomorrow. That's why I was kind of hoping my therapist would be here.
No such deal. You should have had him call in.
What? It really would not have made much of a difference. This is going to be a very quick 60-second thing because of the fact that they are not releasing the cast until another few hours from now.
Really?
Yeah. Usually we get 3 or 4 days ahead. Sometimes
they screwed over the Kenny,
and we get to guess as to what they're going to be like. We don't get that option. Well, if we had a show Wednesday morning, we would have that option.
When is the premiere? For Thursday?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, so they don't want people to speculate anymore. They don't want the publicity because the show sucks. Well, it needs to go away.
It's also comes into play with how the live feeds are going to work and what the premiere is going to be like. Because usually they bring in the house guests a few days early and they get acclimated in the house and they start videotaping and then they have a few days of B-roll to work with. Well, the first episode, which airs tomorrow,
they're trying to make it lively, you mean?
It's gonna be live. It's gonna be a live move-in. So they don't have when you watch this, they're meeting everyone for the first time.
Yeah, because they know the show is tired and it needs something new.
It keeps getting. You know what? This is Big Brother number 24.
That's what I mean. It's tired. How many what amazing races there are and what's that one?
Survivor.
Survivor, yeah. See, like 35. Isn't that guy, the host, dead yet?
Jeff? You have seen him age. But, I have to remind you, people like Superintendent Zaporowski like Big Brother.
So
it's not...
Sometimes
it's not a lowbrow show.
Sometimes you need to check out. That's why I like wrestling.
Fair enough. I'll give that to you.
Right. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's mindless entertainment.
So in a few hours, the cast will be reviewed or
revealed.
Revealed, and live move-in, a 90-minute live move-in special to start the season off with tomorrow. So now that we got that out of the way, let's pay homage to
come on, man.
Whatever underwriters we may have. I don't know if I have any left.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys at Westfield. Great futures start here.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
I have in my hand the ultimate book of useless information.
That's me.
And I just I opened it up randomly.
Yes.
And here's something that I never knew.
Okay.
4 popes died while participating in sexual acts.
Oh, and they make everybody else be celibate. Is that true?
If it's in this book, it must be true. Now you're going to type that into your browser now.
Yeah, I got to find that out.
See, now, I was going to give you an option of picking something out here that we can dive into, but that is actually quite interesting now that I think of it. Because they poo-poo you doing this stuff. And I guess I could have probably called it up just as quick as you, but are you finding anything good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's apparently it's true.
All right. Then that means this must be true as well.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Pope Leo the 7th, 936 through 939, died of a heart attack while having sex. Pope Leo was Pope from January. Was preceded by Pope John. Okay. Let's see. Pope John the 7th, 955 to 964, was bludgeoned to death by the cuckold husband of the woman he was having sex with at the time.
Oh!
Love triangle.
Oh!
He died 18 October 707. Let's see. Pope John the 8th, 965 to 972, was also murdered by an irate husband of the woman who is said to be having sex with.
You know, I bet you Saint Finger is poking his Peter at them. I mean, what?
Hey, easy. And Pope John Paul II allegedly died while being sodomized by a page boy. That's bad.
Oh.
Wow. Pope John Paul. Oh, no, Pope Paul. Paul II. 1467 through 71. Sorry, I got the wrong guy. Long before John Paul.
This kind of makes me want to go to Sweden. 70% of Swedish women claim they have participated in a threesome.
Really?
That kind of explains ABBA. Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Very bad. That's very bad. I changed your background to the overcast Westfield.
It shouldn't be, because this whole broadcast is overcast right now, right?
It's getting a little blue.
Every year, more than 11,000 Americans hurt themselves trying out bizarre sexual positions.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're a liberated society around here. There's no consequences, except maybe a trip to the emergency room. Why do you get all this salacious stuff? Oh, by the way, big news on the old Westfield community programming front. We're now streaming both channels of Westfield community programming. 24/7.
Both 12 and 15.
24/7. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm kind of pleased about that.
And we can find both feeds at westfieldtv.org?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. On the streaming page, we used to find Channel 15. Now you can find Channel 15 and Channel 12. And 15 will start automatically because that's why we usually come here. But if you want to, you can also watch channel 12. You can start that feed. So you're. I can load up the page and show everybody. Give me 1 second.
While you call that up, I'm still in the. There's several different sections in this book, and this section just happens to be about sexual things. But here we go.
Can you find something less salacious, please?
I just want to get this one last one out because I feel it's important.
Okay.
Married women are physically and mentally less healthy than single women. It's in the book. It must be true.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, we found that first original thing was
so
true.
There you are.
All right. Let's see what the latency is like. I'm waving now, and we'll just keep...
8:41:51. It's about a minute.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's half a minute to go one way and then half a minute to go the other way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's got to go up to the tech center, be processed, turned around, decoded, recoded, and then sent out to the web.
Right.
And then be processed through their server.
And so you have latency on both ends.
See, you're still reading the book. And you'll see us transition to the page anyways. But anyways, you can also stream channel 12 while you're there and see the community bulletin board, or if we have other meetings going on, you can see them. You can see both simultaneously. See, watch. You can see the transition happen eventually.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
There we go.
Yeah. So so you can see us. You can see both things going on, and also on the bottom stream, there's the Western Mass Radio Reading Service. It'll be on the channel 12, the bulletin board.
Okay.
So big news over here at the old WCPC. Also, if you want to email us, you can email stuff to the community calendar, and we try to get it up on both places. Hey, little pro tip: if you want to send me an infographic like that Boy Scouts one. 1920 by 1080 landscape.
Landscape.
So it's a sideways like that. And if you send it to me, you can make it however you want, and then we can just pop it up right into the graphics. And it's just, with me being overwhelmed, it's tough for me to make infographics. If you want to send me one, like the Homeless Cat Project, the Westfield, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But just, send me those infographics. Anthonium, great job on theirs. Just send me those infographics, and I'll pop them right in.
And I do the same thing down in Southwick with their Channel 15 and their bulletin board. And, I beg for landscape if they're going to send me a JPEG or a PDF or whatever. Some folks are now sending me landscape, but others are still doing the portrait. And, I just put them up that way. Yeah, big black bars on each side, but it's the original piece of collateral.
I try to make them fit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mine are as big as they can go without losing information.
Right.
And then I actually went ahead and I made like a dozen graphical templates that I can just cut and paste text onto. So
Miss
you
Palmer,
get little different things.
Anytime you guys got a play coming up, have somebody make me up a quick graphic, and I can run it for the whole run of the show.
Yep.
I'm going to be trying to put together something for Downtown Live later on today, to do the list for Downtown Live, the concert series, and have the whole list of shows. So yeah, make me up graphics, people. You can do it. There's easy ways to do it. You can do it in Windows Photo Editor, anywhere that has a text and graphics, you can do something quick.
If you have Office, you can most likely
Publisher,
use, or PowerPoint even.
Yep, PowerPoint works as well. Yeah.
And of course we have the Adobe suite. Well, you're sitting pretty.
and it's a great It's a great quick way to get your message out to a wide audience. There's my soapbox for this morning.
Pick the number 1 through 150.
128.
128.
That's my birthday. See what's on my birthday page.
Oh, I have 137 dog-eared for a reason. All right. The original meaning of the word clue was a ball of thread or yarn. Like its modern namesake, it often took some time to unravel.
Okay, I like that one. Sounds like my life.
An American billion is 1,000 million. A British billion is 1 million million.
Really? I wish we could just get our billions straight. So they spend less money than we do, apparently.
A 19th century advertisement for a McCoy sewing machine introduced the phrase, the real McCoy, into the English language.
That's awesome. I always thought that was the Hatfields and the McCoys. To find out if you're a real McCoy.
Eosophobia is the fear of dawn.
Sleep in.
Oh, you know what? Here's... We've discussed this on the show before. The word spam is an acronym formed with spiced ham.
Yeah.
All right, a duffel bag is so called because the thick wool originally used to make the bags came from the Belgium town of Duffel.
Really?
Yeah.
That one I didn't know. I had no clue. Are we ever going to do trivia night again?
I haven't heard from her, and at this point in time, I would have expected to hear from her. So I don't think we're doing it this year.
Okay. We haven't done it in a while. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the phrase passing the buck. The phrase passing the buck comes from the old American custom of using a buckhorn-handled knife placed in front of the dealer during a game of cards. A player who didn't want the deal would pass the knife or buckhorn to the next player.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, something from Babe Ruth in my mail today.
Here's a couple of good ones here.
Oh, no. No. Chef John, rescue us.
This is what happens when I don't have a sidekick in here or a co-host or a guest.
I tried to get Rick to come in, but he said he was having adult beverages in his backyard, and he wasn't sure if he could wake up in time. Well, I tried to get you a co-host. But it's just you and me. It's like me and Rob Goff being here by on our own.
And you know, I'm fine with it because I have stupid stuff like this in my in that cabinet. The difference between a nook and a cranny is that the nook is a corner and the cranny is a crack.
Okay. So wait a minute. So how do they say a Thomas's English muffin has nooks and crannies? It doesn't have any corners.
Little corners on the inside.
Yeah.
The State Department refers to elevators. What do you think the State Department refers to elevators as?
Lifts.
No, that would be the Brits.
Okay.
Vertical transportation units.
Good Lord.
Race car is a palindrome.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. This is a good one. And I might end it with this one.
Please do.
And it's a good one to end with. Unless I want to go over to this book, Conversation Sparkers.
No.
Yeah. In the native Greek, utopia means not a place or nowhere.
Right. That's what the conservatives try to say. If you listen to their podcast, they go, you know what the definition of utopia means, right? It means the destruction of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not a place, nowhere.
Right.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. It's not fun having Bob to spar with. You know what I mean? I enjoy sparring with Mr. Plass.
Yeah, you know, there's nobody to take a jab at here.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, you know.
And I do so only in good fun.
I know.
I'm probably one of the more liberal conservatives in town, for crying out loud.
Well, you're a middle of the roader like the rest of us.
I am libertarian. And I have no problem admitting to that. You know, I want small government I mean, to each their own, and spend my money wisely. And get government out of my life. That's the whole basis of libertarianism.
My uncle, who served in the Korean War and became a postman afterwards for 50 years until he passed, had the greatest thing of all time about social programs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it's a great idea, but who's going to pay for it?
Who's going to pay for it?
It's the best yardstick that I have for anything government related.
Mm-hmm. I post that line up as a comment on many posts. Yeah. And I don't get
true.
When I do it, I don't give you credit for it, but I think of you whenever I use it.
Yeah.
Great idea. Who's going to pay for it?
Yep. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to take the break? Because I see your guest lurking.
He's not just lurking. He is standing at the doorway into the
He's
studio
on the
in
threshold.
anticipation.
Maybe I should play anticipation.
Not. That was your cue.
Ain't this?
Burn down the store. Take what you want and more. Shop until you drop. Voodoo consumer never stop. Load up on supplies. No sale, no compromise. Gun crazy down the mall. Voodoo consumer, take it all.
Eat this, drink this, try this, charge it, it's fabulous.
Step right up and take it. It's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. 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 Drive me to the bank. Kneel down and give me thanks. Grab your credit card. Voodoo consumer, kiss me hard.
Eat this, drink this, try this, charge it, it's fabulous.
Step right up and take it. It's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. Too late, voodoo consumer terminate.
Eat this, drink this, try this, buy this, wear this, buy this, play this, charge it, it's fabulous.
Step right up and take it. It's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously marvelous, meticulously treacherous, disarduously cruel. Just make it fabulous. 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 Fabulous.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest Ace dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from 20 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
You're good, but let's be honest, you're not perfect. And that's not American. We strive to be number one in everything. Sports, politics, economics, homelessness, degeneracy. Los Santos is the home of beauty and glamour for the whole world. Live up to society's expectations. Play your part. Your body is a work of art. Don't leave it half-finished. It's time for your creative plastic surgery. We'll make your face as tight as a drum. We'll suck fat out of your body with an industrial pump. Increase your confidence with fake breasts to ensure people know what you're all about. For the more adventurous, why not try an extra nose or 3 breasts? You know how much men like breasts. Can you imagine how wild they'll go for udders?
My wife was complaining that she did all the work. Carried the baby for 9 months, had painful labor. It's not fair to her my nipples are useless. That's why I had creative plastic surgery. I got a set of udders installed. Now my son can suck my udders while I'm watching the game. The fellas at the bar love them too.
Men never stared lasciviously at my ass. Then I had a tail attached. Now people can't stop looking.
Beauty is not skin deep, it's less than that. Creative plastic surgery. Achieve your own utopia.
WCPC brought to you by Creative Plastic Surgery.
I want to get away.
How? Here.
Did I need to play that again?
Oh.
I want to get away. What mic are
We
you?
have now reached 10,000 feet.
Oh my God. How high are you? What? Oh, 10,000 feet high. That's how high. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, didn't you hear the sound?
I did.
Yeah.
That's just I want to get away.
We have now reached 10,000 feet. It is safe for you to take out your laptops and other large electronic devices. Please keep your seatbelt on as the captain has the seatbelt light illuminated. If you do need to use the lavatory, there's 1 up front and 2 in the back. You are not able to stand in line, or you're not able to form a line at the forward lavatory.
What? Wouldn't you love to play that while they're doing the announcements?
You know what? Still,
I'm flying this week.
Still out of courtesy.
I flew this weekend.
Still out of courtesy, I stop what I'm doing and I
do listen to
and
it,
I watch them when
I do,
out of courtesy.
Yep.
Because I'm usually in the exit row, and they're right there doing it. So
You have to participate. You have to be prepared to open the door.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and you know what? Regardless of what they say, once I open that door, I'm going to be the second one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pete went away.
Yeah, just a one-day trip.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a companion pass for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And Southwest had a promotion that if you fly anywhere for a revenue flight round trip, you get 50,000 bonus points towards it's either 100 or 120,000. So I'm giving it a shot because I'd like to fly with my girlfriend a couple places next year. And if I only have to pay 1 fare, it's more affordable to do so.
You do know that we all have to take a shot now because Pete said my girlfriend.
Oh, Christy's still listening.
She was texting. She was texting me this morning.
So I went to Baltimore at BWI, and there's a great little brewery down there, little tap room in the main concourse. And when I go there, Kenny has to go to O'Bricky's.
I go to O'Bricky's,
and I have to go to Miss Shirley's.
Yeah.
Miss Shirley's has the best breakfast down there. Period.
It's soul food.
It's awesome.
Yeah. O'Bricky's has just a killer Bloody Mary.
When I had a layover in Miami, I found this Irish pub, and I drank Irish coffees for like 4 hours with a wonderful waitress, and had a great time. It was a beautiful, beautiful building down there. If you've ever been to that airport,
Which one?
Miami.
Been there once.
Yeah, the Irish pub I recommend.
I've been in and out of Orlando a lot.
You know,
By the way, today is Zap's birthday.
Oh, happy
birthday,
Steph.
Zap.
Happy birthday, Zap. One of the 27 listeners.
And Allie Marie is from Southern Rain. It's her birthday today, too.
Yeah, BWI. I first found out about brickies when one of my flights was delayed. I'm like, okay, what the hell am I going to do now for the next 2 or 3 hours or whatever? And I found a brickies, and I'm like, that Bloody Mary looks really good. And then 4 double Bloody Marys later, I barely made it on to the new flight. I just slept all the way out. But Chef John Slattery, I want to thank you for coming in. Now you had mentioned that you had just flown somewhere too.
No, I'm on my way.
Oh, you're
out.
on your way.
On my way out.
Mm-hmm. Where you heading?
Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Do another festival out there?
Yeah. Interrelated stuff. Getting ready for future festivals.
A planning meeting.
All kinds of
Austin is a great place to hang out. It's a place that
Never been.
I can take it for a couple of days, but then I need to get the heck out because I need something a little more metropolitan. What is that the right word? Because Austin to me is like a very, very big Northampton.
So, I learned a lot about it while I was there last time. It's neat. It grew from 300,000 to 3 million people in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's shooting up. They call it the city of cranes because there's so many cranes building skyscrapers all around the perimeter.
Yeah, Austin is growing very fast.
But the other thing, Peter, though,
it's a very artsy community.
It's one of the live music capitals of the United States, though. There's live music going on every single night of the week, all over the town, and big events and all kinds of stuff like that. So
and whereas I actually prefer more along the lines of Dallas or even Houston.
I love Houston.
Houston's fun, but I like Dallas.
Houston is a driving city because it's so the greater Houston metroplex. You can literally overlay Connecticut, and it's slightly larger than the entire state of Connecticut.
When you say metroplex, it reminds me of playing Sim City and building Metropolis.
Same idea. Same idea. The Houston metroplex. My ex brother-in-law would live in Katy, which is the western suburbs, and have to commute to Baytown, and it would take him almost 2 hours a day to commute.
Well, that's driving across.
And that's doing 90 miles an hour on I-10, which is 10 lanes wide. I've driven that road. That's scary. I was driving in a Dodge Challenger, and it was scary. Or Dodge Charger, and it was scary. People were doing 100 plus. Easy.
They have Autobahn down there?
What?
They have Autobahn down there? No speed limits?
Oh, there's speed limits, but nobody really abides by them.
I guess it's Texas, so.
You mentioned SimCity. I used to play the DOS version.
I played the Amiga version.
So you used to be pretty much the same thing. But you could load up codes before you actually ran the program. It's like on a PlayStation Now. You arrow up, left, right, down, whatever, and you get like God mode and stuff like
cheat
that.
Codes, yeah.
And I ended up with SimCity, endless money.
Right, why not?
So now at this point, you're just building the whole thing out, and I'm putting in multiple railroads and buildings. And
so how come you didn't become a city planner if you were so good at SimCity?
I had hours and hours and hours invested into playing SimCity, and I did it from the back room when I was a sales manager, and when I didn't feel like doing anything, I just sat there and worked on SimCity, and then I look at how big it is. I'm like, I've been really productive. I should have been doing something else with this time. But the new SimCity, compared to the old one was just like a single, if you're lucky, a 2-dimensional playing board, and now what they have is just nuts. I only have a PlayStation 2 at home. I haven't even upgraded from that. Do you have? And I haven't played it in about 4 years, even throughout the pandemic.
I didn't have video games growing up really. We had an Intellivision and a Vectrex.
Intellivision is coming back, right?
Yeah. Well, the games have been around. They've kept them on.
there's a new gaming system, and television was revised by Tommy Tallarico, who's from Springfield.
Oh, neat. Good for him.
And
Well,
they're
there's a
coming out
lot
with
of
something
vintage.
called Amigo.
There's always been a vintage call to the video games in Western Massachusetts. So my kids, though, I have children, so we've like had all these different iterations of like getting them used in secondhand of all different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've played some of them, but like they finally gave me my own something, and it has a game that I like to play on it, but I don't remember what.
I got started with the Pong, the Sears version, then the 2600, and then I got into all the computers. My brother ended up going Nintendo, and then I moved on.
Did you get like a Tandy right away like when Radio Shack came out?
I had a Coco 2 and the Commodore 64. Both of them I used. I used both platforms. And then after that, I got into the clones, and then building my own PCs, because back then it was actually cheaper.
I did that when I was like 12 or 14.
Yeah. And then I finally moved on. I got my own place, and I got an N64 and a PlayStation, and I really used them. But then I learned that I really like using God mode when I play Grand Theft Auto.
You just like to cheat, is what it boils down to.
No, I like to drive around and cause mayhem, and that's why I still have a PS2, because I have like 4 or 5 different Grand Theft Autos. They're the only games I have, and I just use it to drive around and just cause trouble. And even though I'm in God mode, there's still a couple of times where the car just explodes and I end up dying. Speaking of dying, you have to be careful about what you eat when you go out foraging. See what I did there?
Nice transition.
What is seasonal now, Chef?
The garden's coming in, so I'm less in the woods. The ticks are out. That's the transition for me at this time of year. There's a little less foraging going on, for personally. There's so much farmers markets and stuff like that. And for me, I'm gonna be doing a lot of traveling this summer, so I'm like in a different vein of thought.
Right.
Like we're beginning of July. The mushrooms are coming in. That's now it's time to start looking around for your favorite mushrooms. Last year was that bumper year, so check those spots and see what happens. And
is that because it was so wet last year?
I think that had something to do with it for sure. Yeah.
Wet and dark. It wasn't a lot of sun last year.
Yeah, it was. Man, that was like the most beautiful production of mushrooms I've ever seen, and like old time mushroomers, like people have been doing it for like 50 and 60 years, said it was some of the best they've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean anything about what this year is going to bring, though.
Mm-hmm. I'd really love to get my hands on some of them and then dehydrate it and then make an umami powder out of it.
Yeah, a friend of mine broke down and got a gadget you don't have yet.
You don't know that. What type of gadget?
Freeze dryer.
Oh, an anti-griddle?
No, a freeze dryer.
A freeze dryer. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. The freeze.
They have
freeze
tabletop.
dry.
They have tabletop freeze dryers, and then you can powder that stuff. And you're like
that's even better than dehydrating and then grinding it up.
Yeah, because freeze drying, you're locking all the nutrients in instantaneously. Yeah. So it's a whole different process. Planted a seed, Peter. I planted a seed.
Now I
don't have money for all this crap.
Now I need
either.
Now I need a freeze dryer and a anti-griddle.
Yeah. Well,
have you ever used an anti-griddle?
Like once.
Isn't that what they have at Cold Stone, basically?
No, that's a cold top.
That's just a cold top.
Yeah.
Okay. An anti-griddle is what they had at the place but it never worked, unfortunately, here in downtown. But most of the Asian restaurants have rolled ice cream, and they pour the mix onto that, and it's so cold, it's negative whatever, and it's freezing the stuff instantaneously, making ice cream. From
all I know is that
whatever liquid.
I've seen them on Iron Chef.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All I know is that they never, when they use it on Chop, they never quite work right. Or they're never fast enough.
I've seen them on Chop too.
It has to be super. It has to be probably warmed up properly, which who knows how long it takes to get that cold, and B, like it has to be super thin.
Mm-hmm. And in that case, like if you're on Chop, are you better off using a blast chiller? I mean,
it depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, in the application of why you would need that, I don't.
Oh, that's another thing I want.
Blast chiller.
Blast chiller.
I mean, just put a fan put a fan in your refrigerator. You go to the Home Depot or something and get one of them Vornado fans and stick it in the side of your refrigerator. And right down from their freezer.
Yeah, I might actually end up getting into smoking at some point too.
Yeah, you got to come get that.
I have to find a vehicle I can put it into.
Well, if you help me load it, I'll put it in mine and we'll get it down to your house.
All right, we'll do that. I'll get it out of your way.
You got to buy a cover for it, though, or operate out of your... Because it's electric, you can operate it in your garage for a little while. Just leave the door open.
This August, when at the festival, it's a vegetarian. I'll be cooking vegetarian for like 20-something days, and I'm gonna bring the smoker down and do like the smoked watermelon hams and different applications. And the smoked pineapples are really good.
Did I hear smoked watermelon ham?
Yeah.
Is that the flesh of the watermelon is what you're talking about?
No, you peel the rind off, and then you get this big red thing, and you saturate it in some sort of flavors you want, like in a salt brine, and then you throw it in the smoker, and it gets all pink and shriveled and looks like you're slicing the ham for dinner time.
I've never heard of that one.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's one of the neat little.
Is it like taffy when you get into the?
It doesn't quite caramelize, but it's like a chewy texture.
It shrinks and it picks up smoke.
Yeah, and it holds together because watermelon's like falls apart because it's just water.
Yeah.
As the cells like shrink and like dry out, it gives it a little bit of texture.
Damn.
Sounds cool.
Go on.
Lots of good vegan and vegetarian food. So that's my new trick is that I can get people to eat this super healthy stuff, and then I make really nice meat to go right next to it, and where everybody's happy. So you can eat this pile or that pile, but it's all good.
Mm-hmm. You know, when you're keto, you end up doing a lot of meat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And 10 pounds already.
I'm gonna be cooking for like 30 people for 2 weeks for their main meal of the day, and like a lot of people that are in these different diets are like super high protein, so they're like, and then some want to be vegetarian. And it's really interesting. Everybody's got their own like how they figure out that works out for their system. Yeah,
well,
interesting.
When you're working at a restaurant, how often do you get notice from a wait person? This person has an allergy. Be careful when you cook this.
On an average of 100 covers a day, probably like 2.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure maybe it's more in the
big cities,
chain restaurants and things like that. But in my experience, usually, 2 to 4 on an average, out of 100.
I thought it'd be more than that.
Because you always. I'm sure it probably is out there. That's just my experience.
Yeah, but you always see that on the menu. In form.
Yeah, well, that's illegal.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Well, it's a legal thing. It has to be on the menu.
No, that too. But because it's always there, it's on your mind.
Yep.
And that can put a place in hot water if they don't acknowledge or respect that. But they have to be told.
Yeah.
You can't guess what the ingredients are. If you're allergic to something, you have to say, "Hey, look, is this part of the dish?"
Some astute servers will ask.
Yeah.
That usually increases the tip because they're conscientious.
Yeah. A lot of places, I think, even put it on like the door now and things like that because that way the customer has read it and it's on them to inform you.
Yeah, please inform your server over an allergy.
Yeah.
Yep. I just. My problem is shellfish and crustacean shellfish. I mean, if it won't kill me, but it can give me a tummy ache and get me all red and flustered, and it's strange how that happens.
Yeah,
it's like getting in too much MSG for me.
Yeah, well, it's different proteins usually in the different foods or different or enzymes or depending on what it is, but that react with your body differently and cause you to do all kinds of stuff.
Hey, but before we head over to a quick break, were you listening on the way in? Big Brother starts tomorrow.
Oh God, no, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you knew about that.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
I'll make sure
Who cares?
I was just gonna say, I'll make sure you tell somebody they care.
Well, that's why I mentioned it because I remember John's stance on that show.
Or TV, or anyway. But.
Yeah, at least Pete will be in Florida. You won't have time to watch it.
Thank God.
I won't.
Or he's going to be able to go 3 weeks without hearing about it, too.
Yay!
All right. Let's take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events, workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
You know, I could play one of those stupid commercials coming back in, but I'm not going to do it.
Thanks for sparing me.
I'm not
today.
Oh, I lied.
After that last one, bastard.
No, I'm kidding. You know, I
why do I torture myself here? I wonder. I don't know.
You know, I have a new utility on my laptop here, John.
That frightens me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, Pete might be going away, and I might have to do things here because I can't necessarily be in the control room. So I'm at a point right now where if you start talking, I can shut you off.
That's censorship.
You see that? That works pretty good, huh? the magic of computers and networking and yeah.
You keep talking about that God mode thing.
Oh yeah.
Now you got more control.
I am God. All right, so what'd you do with my check?
I was gonna throw it at you, but when I realized it was taped to the table.
You know, Kathy wasn't here, so I had to.
That's why I had to step in.
Yeah. If you give it a little squeeze, it makes noise too.
Jeez. Oh. Perfect.
All right, so I was heading into something. Let me remember. Oh yeah. Mass Appeal. I watched you this past week.
That chicken was not rubbery, I guarantee it.
Yeah. Speaking of chicken.
Yeah.
Why do I always see rhubarb with strawberry and I never see rhubarb on its own?
Well, rhubarb on its own is really tart.
Okay, yeah.
So,
well, I know that, but a lot of people don't. You know, I'm driving conversation here, John.
Okay, well, that's that you asked a question, I gave you an answer. That's how it works. So, rhubarb being such a tart vegetable, basically, that it needs some kind of sweetness, and the berries pair well with it. I don't know. I've never actually looked up the nuance behind that. If Peter was over there on his little computer, we would ask him to look it up. But it is interesting. Even in the house that I live in currently, somebody a long time ago had planted strawberries and rhubarb together in the same patch, and it's a cute little comes up every year. But it had been neglected for so long that the strawberries have reduced to little tiny wild strawberries, basically, instead of ones that we would normally eat. But the chipmunks have taken all of the strawberries, though, except for the ones that I raised into the bed. But anyway, yeah, strawberry rhubarb.
Yeah. You know, I tapped in here. Why is rhubarb always with strawberries? And it doesn't tell me right off the bat.
Yeah. Google doesn't know everything.
Yeah.
That's why I reach out to my friends and elders for information for most of my sourcing.
And here you go. That's because strawberries are so sweet and rhubarb is tangy, they say.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You definitely don't, yeah.
Ooh, so that you get that classic sweet-sour combination that makes coleslaw. Okay, I see that. Okay, I see where they're going with that. Yeah, it's a flavor profile. But you made the strawberry rhubarb chicken.
Yeah.
And
with garlic scape for the flavoring.
And by the time you're all said and done, it was a gorgeous looking color.
Yeah. Yeah. So I made a strawberry rhubarb, kind of like you'd make a jam, except there was a very minimal amount of sugar, and then a garlic scape I simmered in there to kind of get the juices going. And then as that reduced the chicken, I gave a quick dip underneath the skin, the raw chicken, into that juice, and did a hard sear on it in the oven for a few minutes with the salt and pepper and herbs. And then I did a double basting of I took the jam basically and pureed it. And on Mass Appeal, their food processor is not quite as good. If you use a Vitamix or something strong, it becomes a really nice, and you can just kind of keep glazing it on, like a barbecue sauce almost, but not like too thick. You don't want it to be a coating. You want it to just kind of be absorbed into the skin.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same product, but two different forms of it. The first initial one was more like would you say it's a marinade? The liquid the first time you did that?
Yeah, I would guess you would consider that. It's not sitting in it very long, so it gets still a glaze. A marinade would mean that it would sit in it for some period of time and have time to absorb.
Brine? Is brine another word?
Brine also implies that it would have time to sit in it. Yeah. So the impetus for onion and strawberry and glazing on poultry came from a mistake many, many years ago. And I made a fresh. It was this time of year, and I had made a fresh strawberry sauce. Well, I do this thing where I make Kool-Aid, where I take the fruit and some sugar and let it sit in the refrigerator till it turns juice.
Macerate.
Yeah. Well, don't actually squish it or squeeze it or do anything to it. Just let the sugar take the liquid from the fruit itself, and you'll end up with a bunch of liquid, a juice, a super concentrated fruit syrup. And so the staff I had boiled that down into to be thickened a little bit, and the staff had stored it in a container. Well, that container had recently had some onions in it, and so now the strawberry sauce had
an essence
of onion, and I was like, oh. But it was this beautiful local strawberries. I'm like, well, I can't throw it away. It was this great sauce. So I put it back in the fridge, and it sat there for a while. It's a caramel sauce kind of thing, so it wouldn't go bad. And I got these duck wings that we were frying. I was like, well, what am I going to glaze the duck wings with? I could do teriyaki duck wings or this and that. I'm like, what about strawberry onion glazed duck wing? And it was a hit. And yeah, so sometimes mistakes really do spur new ideas. And so for Mass Appeal, instead of an onion, I put a garlic scape in there just to give it.
And for those who didn't watch Mass Appeal, what is a garlic scape?
A garlic scape is the top of the garlic plant, a little curly Q thingy that will eventually turn into a flower and seeds for garlic. And you have to cut that off if you're trying to grow garlic in the ground for cloves. But the cool thing is it tastes like garlic, and it's really edible, so you can make pesto out of it or saute it or cook it.
So what happens if you leave those things on?
You'll get tiny little rumpy garlic in the ground.
Okay.
And you'll have a big head full of seeds up on top.
And is that because that's taking all the energy from the sun? Or?
Yeah. Photosynthesis stuff, right? Energy from we take the energy from the sun and the earth, and it makes the stuff in the middle that we eat.
All right.
You guys have gotten very deep since I went to the bathroom and came
back. You left. We didn't have anyone to piss off.
Talking about photosynthesis now. Look out.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the strawberry rhubarb glazed chicken that he made on Mass Appeal, which I happen to watch.
That sounds tasty.
Did you see the second segment with the vegetable preparation?
And I'm getting into that. I have all my notes for Mass Appeal right here.
So Patrick ate good that day.
I don't know. He disappeared right after the segment. I don't know if he came and tried any. But so that's the thing. I always leave us some snacks.
Yeah. So that the process that you just mentioned while Pete was away, I've done something maybe a little similar, and I've added. If I have apricot preserves or strawberry jelly, I've actually
we did that
added that
at Mass Appeal. I mentioned it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you caught that. It was my cheat for adding the sugar, was I just used 2 tablespoons of apricot preserve.
Yeah.
And I think I specifically said that that's in the baking and culinary world, it's a very neutral flavor so that you can use it to as a color.
Mild, you mean?
Yeah.
Very mild.
Yeah,
apricot is a mild flavor.
Yeah, and I've been doing that for years and years and years, and I had forgot that you mentioned it, but I remember you mentioning it was neutral, and it's not always that neutral to me, because now and then I would make a cheat sweet and sour sauce with like apricot preserves and ketchup, and I'd mix the two. And I'd use that for those little miniature hot dog.
There are definitely American Chinese restaurants that serve that as their sauce. But classically, that apricot preserve is one of the main ingredients in duck sauce.
Duck sauce.
And then, like I said, baking pastry class. And so the stuff that's the preserve that actually have chunks of it has a little more flavor. But in general, like in baking pastry, they have apricot glaze, and it's just like a very thin, like thicker than simple syrup that you you coat on all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of almost like the syrup used when you're making like baklava.
Kind of like that. It's what you put on the top of like Danish, like certain kinds of Danishes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the second half of Mass Appeal, you went in and did a really great looking vegetable presentation, but you also took the finished chicken out of the oven there, and I just have to. I'm pretty sure I know. But I need to double check. Those ovens are real.
Oh yeah.
All right, because usually on a TV kitchen cooking show, you have a kitchen in the back where they prep everything, and then they just
not anymore.
No, I'm
not anymore.
Uniquely, I do almost all of the cooking for my segments while I'm in the studio within the hour before the program starts, and then live. And yeah.
Yeah. So
a few dishes I've made, I've had to make pre-things because I like to take time to bake a cake or a quiche or things like that. But.
Yeah. So you actually were able to finish off that chicken while they were doing other segments. It was their cooking.
Yep.
Man, it must be driving some of the people in the studio nuts smelling this stuff.
The studio, the offices upstairs. Yeah.
I just thought of that. Now I'm picturing Patrick sitting there. Going, oh man, that smells good! I can't wait! But you made a real great side for that.
Yeah, well, super simple. Just taking the farm fresh vegetables from the market and tossing in with some fresh herbs and oil and salt and pepper. But it's just
you used some squash.
Yeah. The zucchini and summer squash are in now, and then what else was in there? What else is in there? Do you remember?
I'm asking you.
Aromatic vegetable, right? Yeah.
You did mention aromatic. Matter of fact, I remember you throwing the carrot and the onion into the pan. Yeah. And I'm like, oh boy, he's doing mirepoix. But then there's no celery there. So
there was celery.
What was there?
Yeah, that was actually carrot and celery.
Carrot.
There
okay,
was no
carrot.
actual onion. I used the garlic scapes.
Okay, yeah. So I remember looking at it, and I saw only 2 out of the 3 ingredients for a typical mirepoix.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, he's calling it aromatic instead.
and then we added the aromatic herbs, the sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Mm-hmm. Which you called chicken
poultry spices, yeah,
poultry spices,
poultry herbs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite that I didn't have available that day is savory to use with poultry. It's because it's kind of like a cross between rosemary and sage and thyme all in one.
I've never worked with that one.
Oh, find it, smell it. Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah.
Is it an actual separate herb, or is it actually a
no? It's
a concoction?
Savory. It's its own flavor. It's to me, it's mindful of all of the other ones in one. It's very nice. Mm-hmm. And there's a winter version, which is like hard, like rosemary, and there's a summer version. It's almost like soft, like tarragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, savory. Try it, ladies and gentlemen. Try the savory.
I've got to try that. Mm-hmm. All right. Someone's very loud over in the control room that I can hear through my headphones.
Harry's here.
Oh, okay. All right. That's yeah. It sounded like
that explains
Harry.
that. Then.
Yeah. Chef and I can have a conversation going on here. Have our headphones on, and I still hear his trap running along.
Oh my goodness.
and he's out in the hallway. I'm hoping he heard me. Hi, Harry. How you doing?
I'll keep it quiet for you.
I leave that halfway open. I need the airflow.
Airflow.
The second week in a row with that damn door.
Right.
Yeah, the air conditioning's on, but it's not quite doing it here. I need to. Whatever. All right, so.
Cross ventilation.
We're all.
That's because you have a window open. That's why the air conditioning's not working.
It
doesn't come on till after you come in. It's on now, so you can close the window.
I'm not going to get up and do that.
Well, then there's your own problem. Deal with it.
If I get up, it'd be rude to Chef.
You could take a break.
But we only have 19 minutes left.
Oh, my God. We do only have 19 minutes left. Time flies when you're having something.
Yeah.
All right, I'll walk out there and do it.
I know what I'm going to be having at some point during this week. Something made with tuna. How do you like that segue?
Do you have a segue?
I'm afraid to get on one. Although I wouldn't mind
I
trying.
see you going down the strip on a Segway.
Yeah, those hoverboards and the skateboards and those things with the wheels. That I don't think I'd want to even try those. But a Segway, because you have handles,
right? And
I do have a very good sense of balance. I'd probably be able to operate one, but I've never tried one. and they're still somewhat expensive, so it's not for me. Speaking of expensive, a lot of foods are expensive, and we try to eat the best we can. We try to eat the freshest we can. Sometimes, families might be in a spot where they just have to get something up on the table. And when I was young, I went through that as a kid. My mother would try to stretch everything. Cheeseburgers would be put between two pieces of Wonder Bread, that type of thing. And she did a lot of stuff with tuna fish and always making a tuna fish casserole. And then last night, I'm looking through my cookbooks, looking for some type of inspiration for something to talk about. And I found the tuna fish gourmet. And it's just all different types of ways of using tuna fish. Now, yeah, for $1, you can get that mushy chunk light stuff, but you go $1.50, at least you can, get some albacore. and you can.
Are you a water guy or an oil guy?
Both. I use the.
Of course you are.
And I'll tell you why.
I'm sure.
I use the water type for cooking and for the recipes like tuna salad and whatnot. The oil one, believe it or not, I will open up the can, drop a little bit of salt on it, and I'll just.
It's like Niçoise salad without all the other ingredients.
Yeah,
right?
I
Kenny.
Yeah, I eat it cold right out of the tin. The oil stuff.
You keep it in the refrigerator?
Yeah. And it's not olive oil; it's vegetable oil, so it doesn't congeal.
Right.
Because I've made.
I wonder if there are brands that have good oil. Yeah, there must be brands.
Yeah, and I bet you they look like a tin of sardines or something. I don't think you're going to find it in one of
like
those
it's
regular
actually
brown.
like tuna steak in like good oil, probably. Yeah.
I used to be able to get those tuna steaks too in a tin like that at Ocean State, but they haven't had them in quite some time. They were good.
Speaking of canned fish, I mean tuna, salmon, all the same. So I've used canned salmon a bunch of times for different things, but there's one time I accidentally bought a different nationality's canned salmon. Mm-hmm. Where it has all the bones still in the can.
Well, that happened to me.
I was like, "What is going on here?" I wanted to make tuna salad or salmon salad. I'm like, "Well,
my mother used to make salmon and rice, which was you take the salmon in the can, you make a roux, you mix that, and then you just mix it with the rice. Salmon and rice. Stretch it. So now I've moved out. I'm on my own. I'm walking through the supermarket. I'm like, ooh, there's a can of salmon on sale. Grab it, take it home. Start to make salmon and rice. Because, I call up Mom. Mom, how do you do? Oh, you just make flour and then, okay, all right, Mom, so you make a roux. And then you blah, blah, blah. So I go through the whole process. It was one of those cans with all the bones in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mix it all together. I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't remember any of this. And then a few weeks later, I realized that not all the cans have bones.
Yeah, it's a certain special preparation that people like the bones, and
Mhm.
it's different.
Yeah.
Like it's like the whole like to put like a whole fish in a can.
Have you ever seen the whole chicken in a can?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've never bought one. I've never used one.
I haven't seen one for sale in my lifetime. I have seen some that had been in storage in people's cabinets for multiple years.
And have you opened them?
I have seen and watched people consume one.
You know what? If I happen to stumble across one,
If I found one that was,
I'll
like,
bring it in
made
here
the
and we'll
last
deal
10
with
years,
it.
I'd probably try
Wait a
it.
minute, what is this?
A whole bird in a
a whole
can.
chicken in a can.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Just like the hams come in a big can.
All I can think of that is like government surplus that you'd have in a fallout shelter.
Right, but I mean, so in I actually was going to bring it up when you started talking about the canned tuna. Like potted beef and all these things are a legitimate. So maybe you get them from somewhere, or maybe or they're cheap, or you find them in places like Job Lot, and you don't know what to do with them. You really can stretch that protein into a bunch of different stuff. There's even like basically like pork, shredded pork in can in form and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. That potted beef. I you know what? I'm weird. I like to throw that in the fridge and eat that out of the can too.
we know you're weird, Kenny. It's okay.
Yeah.
I do like eating my own beef stew.
And the Underwood stuff, the Underwood deviled ham, and the Underwood chicken spread. I'll actually eat those out of the can as a snack.
Well, those have the mayonnaise and stuff in them already, I think. Some kind of oil or dressing.
It's some type of It's not really
Dressing,
mayo,
well,
but
mayo is a dressing. So
yeah. I think it's more in the case of these things. I think it's more of an emulsifier, like soy lecithin or something like that just keeps everything bound together. I mean,
Amazon
it
has
tastes
one
good.
listing for whole chicken in a can.
Share your screen, sir.
Sweet Sue.
Yeah, Sweet Sue is the brand I've seen. Yeah.
That's just disgusting.
All right.
Hold on, let me find it. Let me put it in. That's just disgusting.
Yeah, people will not believe this unless they
Put the jelly
they see
melts
it.
down into chicken stock. You make the rice with the stock. You put the shredded meat in. It's chicken and rice. And, and if you don't have access to if you don't have access to cooking, that's what the canned food is really about. Is at least if you can grind a can on the cement. You ever see
50
the guy?
ounce without giblets.
$22. Wow.
I suppose
I'm
if
gonna
you're hard
go
up.
I'm gonna go Cream of the Crop Farm and buy a whole chicken that's raw for $20, but at least it's from down the street.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're actually in a market, you can come across that, and they're probably like $5-6.
Oh, right, 'cause it's not on Amazon.
Yeah, and I will buy one, and we'll bring it in here, and we'll break it apart and break it down and see what the hell's going on. But speaking of breaking down chicken, rotisserie at the market, that's still probably one of the better values for people, right?
If you don't like to cook.
Yeah, I mean,
health-wise, I wouldn't say.
For stretching.
I mean, I don't know. The canned chicken versus the price of that's probably pretty close. I don't know.
I'm talking about if today, trying to shop wisely for food. Rotisserie chicken is still a good bargain. Because last time I checked,
it is, but those rotisserie chickens are pumped with a bunch of stuff. Just keeping that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
So like health-wise, there's a lot of sodium and other things.
Yeah, because last time I checked, I have a rotisserie cooker at home. It cost me more to buy the chicken than to get one already done.
Correct.
But
that's because that chicken's also sold by weight, and it's there's stuff added. So
right.
Think of that.
Mm-hmm.
They're-
I forgot about all that added stuff.
They're brined in like a facility.
Yeah.
Central casting.
Yeah.
It's just a shame because you get a dinner out of it, and then you can get a lunch the next day, and then
And a soup.
They can be stretched, but if it's really not good for you, it's not worth stretching, is it?
Yeah, I mean it's hit or we eat a lot of processed foods in our life, so it's deciding which things we're going to eat that are processed or not. So I mean, in convenience, yes, you're getting good protein from chicken so that you didn't have to cook, so it's a convenience. But there's probably healthier options,
Speaking of healthier, we were talking about tuna. If you are pregnant, you probably want to check with your doctor before consuming a lot of tuna. There's still might be questions with
Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah, I remember that exhibit at the aquarium in Boston. They had the big thing about how the mercury gets in the fish and the tuna and how it carries it. It's really interesting that it lasts. It can last for a long time. That mercury stays.
You know how many times my mom slathered mercurochrome over a boo boo I had? I turned out fine.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I never broke a thermometer and sucked that silver stuff out of it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at. There's so much. There's a lot of simple ways of working with tuna, and I'm just opening up a page here, a page there. Tomatoes stuffed with tuna salad, and it's things like that. You forget that exist, but are easy to make, and that can make a dinner, if you want.
Yeah.
Just splitting hot dogs down the middle, throwing them in the oven like I did the other day. You cook a whole package of hot dogs. They get a little char on them on the bottom. If I was smart, I would have put another sheet pan over the top of them to keep them flat. But then for a couple days, I made grilled cheese sandwiches out of them, and now you got a nice little tasty sandwich, a little mustard in there, mixes up with the cheese, and it's tasty. Quick and easy. What? That was good.
I missed something, but
Yeah. Chef has a nonplussed look on his face.
Really?
No, it wasn't about what it was. I was just trying to follow along, splitting them in the oven.
I split them in half.
And then caramelize them in the oven.
Yeah, split them in half.
And then
I
use
cooked
those
them
for-
in the oven.
Yeah.
But they curl up. So
Yeah.
I should have thrown another sheet pan on top to keep them flat. So they caramelize the whole length, right, on the bottom.
Right.
Because you do
and
flat
then you
side
use those
down.
as sandwich meat.
You use them as in the middle of a grilled cheese, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's neat.
And what you do is you put the mustard on it before you heat it up, so that you get the mustard mixed in with the cheese as the cheese melts.
Yeah.
It was quite tasty.
It's fun to play with all the different kinds of things you can put in the grilled cheese. Tuna.
Tuna
Yeah,
melts.
but does tuna?
Yeah.
Does tuna heat up too much and gets bad when it's making grilled cheese, or no?
No. I like my tuna hot and my grilled cheese. Like so, my tuna melt. I always made it like a patty of like a drier tuna salad and like fried that and then put that into my grilled cheese.
So you got crunch and
yeah. You get that that brown caramelized tuna on the edge of that patty is like the make it or break it on that sandwich, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now I want one. But here's the key: we got to get some really proper wheat bread because there's very few places to get some proper wheat bread for that sandwich.
my girlfriend has Christy has IBS and she likes the sourdough bread.
That's nice.
She says that does well with her IBS.
Yes, it's a little
All right,
easier to digest.
By the way, for those of you following, it's time to take another shot.
Cheers.
Good luck, Peter.
Tuna and egg salad.
Yeah, well, that's.
I've never heard of that combination.
Yeah.
Oh, serve this full-time favorite on soft whole wheat bread with sliced tomatoes and alfalfa sprouts.
Alfalfa sprouts.
Alfalfa sprouts. Health salad with tuna.
Health salad?
Yeah.
Has it got nuts and berries and
green
chia seeds?
Green bell pepper, red bell pepper, zucchini, yellow squash, carrots, cucumber, olive oil, wine vinegar, salt to taste, and black pepper. And I guess you mix that up with the tuna.
Well, that's a little. Can you put that book down now? Just put that down.
No,
you're making the chef hungry.
Only after
that one.
Not with that recipe, but two of them, two more I have to call out on here.
All right.
Tuna tetrazzini.
Pass hard.
And the other one that I see in here, tuna a la king.
Well, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Now,
classic a la king, chicken or tuna or whatever is.
Yeah. Well, you see the LaChoy. You see the LaChoy chicken a la king a lot on the market shelf.
The key is the white gravy with the pimento makes it a la king. And it can't just be red pepper; it has to be pimento. Like it has to be roasted or.
And what's the ideal thing to serve a la king over?
Cubed toast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a Welsh rabbit.
Yeah. you toast the bread, you butter it, and you cut it into little cubes. You put it in a bowl, and then you pour the
Oh, I can. You know,
Oh,
I can see
taking
exactly.
me back to my babyhood. Oh.
I can see exactly how that's like cream chip beef, which I had
Same.
at the place down in.
It's white gravy. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, Pete? What was it? Virginia, where I got that chip beef?
Without the.
Yeah,
I mean,
at the
all the king is with the pimento.
Restaurant Impossible, the Southern Grill.
Uh-huh.
You got the Southern Grill, didn't you?
No,
it was at the Sage Diner.
It's because it's supreme sauce. That's why it's up for the king. It's because supreme sauce is the type of gravy that it is, and then so that's where the king supreme.
So a la king adds the pimento.
Yeah, and it's a supreme sauce.
See, now I pictured you serving it, over a lump of rice, but
I mean that's probably more filling, but like
the toast. I mean,
the Depression era eating white gravy with canned chicken with canned pimentos over what? White toasted Wonder Bread was a very
Now I've got to have that. Oh man, you planted that into my mind.
I could see it in the bowl when I was 8.
Yeah. now the chicken a la king you had when you were 8. What was that freshly prepared or was that out of the can?
No, that's why I had to start cooking because my mom was serving us stuff out of cans, and I said no. I got sorry, Mom. Here we are today. 30-something years later.
And she's still eating the stuff out of the can?
No, she's trying to be a little better with her health herself. She eats salads and things like that. Yeah. But, everybody was busy, so she wasn't much of a cook.
And that's that. It's 9:58.
So
yeah, I got eyes.
I'll be adventuring all summer long. Be sure to stay in touch with my social media, chefjohnslattery.com, Facebook, Chef John Slattery, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Post some pictures when you're on the road.
I will post pictures of some of the things on the road and some of the food that we'll be making, and it's a lot of that healthy stuff for this summer. I'm on the.
By the way, did you see the hot sauce my son gave me for Father's Day?
No.
It's called The End. It's called Flatline.
Oh.
The End.
Haha. We're not done yet though. I made hot sauce though, and
this is just like every hot pepper known to man.
Right. So that's my buddy makes a 700 pepper sauce with everything he can get his hands on. But I grew
cayenne, habaneros, ghost, 7-pot chocolate, Douglas pepper, Reapers, and more capsaicin just for good.
That's
measure.
You know why it's called It's the End. It's after they bottle all the stuff. That's what's left on the table, and they just scoop it up and put it in the jar. And
I think it means the end of your life because it's Flatline seasoning, and that's the brand name.
They're trying to give you a heart attack.
The End. I'm using it as payback for my brother. So.
Oh, I see. It's a dangerous thing. So mine is actually I took Scotch bonnets and cayenne peppers, and I grew them 2 years ago with the help of my friend Brian, and then I put them in a jar with vinegar and let them sit for 2 years, and I Vitamixed them. And
oh my Lord!
It is the most mellow perfection of a sauce. Unfortunately, I only made 3 little bottles, and I've been slathering it all over everywhere I go with people. But
did you include the salt with it too, or just vinegar and pepper?
Just the vinegar and pepper.
All right, that's almost like how they do the Tabasco, only they do add salt with it.
Yeah, I didn't need to add salt. This stuff is so mellow, and it sings.
So that's the best way. You just jar vinegar and peppers, put it in the fridge?
No, like
room
temperature, and shake them every
couple
months.
Do you have to seal it?
I burped it a lot, but it wasn't like it wasn't fermenting, but I still like.
But you just had some air in there. You didn't vacuum seal it.
That was air in that one. Yeah, there was a little.
2 minutes ago he tries moving us on, and now he's keeping us going.
Well, because he can't. It was a good thing that a little tip that I got. So
all right,
that's what I do. I give good tips.
All right, so follow John at
chefjohnslattery.com or social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
All right, I want to thank you for coming in. Next week, Dan Knappich. The reason why I'm here.
That's your father?
You know what? He is the father of Westfield community programming.
And on that
I like what you did there.